Ready. Good evening, everybody. This is the regular meeting of the Board of Selectmen on Wednesday, September 6, 2017. And this meeting is being recorded and it's also shown live on Channel 9. Okay, let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Chairman, while we're all standing, we lost a number of residents since our last meeting. Walter Jones, Florence Ferry, Maria Medeiros, Richard Hegeman. I would like to mention, I served on the Board of Selectmen with Richard for a year during my first term. Richard actually served 2 full terms as a selectman, and he had previously served on the zoning board. Richard was a veteran, served in Vietnam, very proud of his service in Vietnam. Richard was a business owner, had a business in, South Main Street in Providence for a number of years. So hearing of Richard's passing was a real shock to everybody because we had all seen Richard within the past few months here at Town Hall. And this was something that was very sudden, very unexpected. So we extend our sympathies to the families of these individuals. And we'd also ask a moment of silence and also remember the anniversary of 9/11 that's coming up next week. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next order of business is a presentation to the Lions Club by Karen Potter of Positively Dighton. So why don't you guys come up and...
Just right there?
That's good. So you had a vendors fair last weekend?
Last Saturday, we had a vendors fair at the pavilion, and it was so successful. It was a great time for all. It was a beautiful day. And as you know, the Lions Club does not charge to use the pavilion, and we were pleased about that. However, the vendors, Lissa Masters in particular, led the way for that, and all of Positively Dighton and myself would like to present the donation that the vendors gave of $190 to the Lions Club as a thank you for all they do.
Thank you so much. We appreciate every dollar that the Lions get as a donation goes back into the community. Totally nonprofit, so we appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm also a Lion, and we really appreciate all the donations because they, as Denise said, they go to very, very worthy causes. Most of it goes back into, or a lot of it goes back into the community.
I wanted to ask Ms. Potter, are you going to be doing that next year as well? Will this be an annual thing?
I'm sure. Lissa is a firestorm behind that, and she is gung-ho. She has a great list of vendors, most of them from Dighton and many from the outlying areas. And it was wonderful. Such a nice feeling, you know. Everybody was pleasant, helped each other set up, and they even took everything down after all the tables. They helped us.
They didn't just leave?
It was amazing, yeah.
That's fantastic.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you for bringing in the positivity.
You guys don't need to stay. You should. The next item on the agenda is the transfer of liquor license from Mount Hope Village Liquors to Vaniac Incorporated. And there's a public hearing, but there's not a lot of public here unless Mr. Borkin has.
I'm listening.
Okay.
They're nice people.
It does say 7:45 on the...
It does say 7:45.
Okay.
Okay, so we probably should table this for the moment.
You want to move to public input and then maybe
Yeah,
Mr.
yeah,
Berkman has
yeah.
something?
I have a few things too. Okay, let's move to public input. Any public input?
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's all right, I'd like to come.
Absolutely.
Please do.
I did have an official number, but they stopped that. Remember that? That was-
Yes,
yeah.
yes, we certainly
Um,
do.
One of the originals.
One of the originals. I'm here, I wanted to mention something about this is from, not only as a citizen, Thomas Berkman, 3076 on Hill Drive. But I'm on that Industrial Development Industrial Commission, and we're going to have the Selectmen award 2 businesses every year for business.
We did that last year.
Correct. So apparently a lot of people don't really know that much about it, but I'm getting the list tonight, as a matter of fact, of all the current businesses, and we're gonna send out the mailing, which we budgeted. You guys were able to help us out with the budget. And so that's gonna be going out.
Fantastic.
And I had mentioned I kinda got put to take the lead on it to help out with some of the work. And then we're all working together as a team. And the other thing is, I had mentioned to Selectman Z, Dr. Z, they call him, Mr. Z, but it took me a while to learn to pronounce his last name.
Z is okay.
It's a Graffes, actually. It took me a little while to get that, but I did get onto it. I mentioned about there's 2 of us that are handling kind of spearheading the marketing, and Amy is leading the computer link web page, or web attachment, or whatever it is that's going on the new website, which Brett had met, Selectman Z had met with her on that, and it's just a matter of linking that in. And then we're also, like I say, we're working on that business award, we're doing some other PR and also some planning, and trying to move forward, like everybody else is, trying to get going with things. So it is active, and,
Good.
I think it's going in the right direction.
Absolutely.
So I just wanted to give you that's all I have. I'm not gonna ask a bunch of questions. That I usually do, but it seems like if I don't, you're like, disappointed. I don't have a question. But if there's anything, I can help you with, let me know.
Okay,
That's all I got.
thank you.
Thank you.
I just wanted to
Thanks for
thank,
your support, by the way,
absolutely,
all
absolutely.
select persons.
I just wanted to thank, not just you, Mr. Berkman, I do thank you,
Yeah,
but
the whole-
the whole commission, it's a volunteer commission. There are some towns who hire a professional to come in to do things like bring business into town and to spur economic growth. So we're fortunate in our town to have an all-volunteer force, a team who works together to achieve that goal. And we really do appreciate it very, very much. I know it's
Yeah.
not easy.
I think you're gonna find that, it's funny, I'd like, Jack and Mr. Taylor had mentioned, getting involved with the town actually you do get something out of it, if you wanna come up and get involved. And
Absolutely.
I did listen to some of this stuff, and I have been involved, and I actually enjoy it, helping the town, and I do get something out of it, and it is volunteer, but it's rewarding, because you're helping the citizens, you're helping the town, and it's from the heart, because there's no pay involved, so that's good, volunteers are good to have. One thing that did, on a side note, would be, with all these hurricanes going on, I was just wondering if the disaster committee was
If
gonna meet.
it looks like it's coming
Yeah.
up this way, we definitely will meet as a disaster committee.
Okay. I was thinking of that with all this. I know you guys are active with that, so.
Yeah, yeah.
I know you guys are very busy right now. I know you have a lot of different projects in terms of different businesses that you're working on bringing into town,
Yeah, sure.
as well as the website. So I think that's absolutely fantastic. And whatever you guys need from me personally, happy to help.
And once again, thank you for the support, and we're trying to get things moving ahead.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Thank you very
I
much.
want to talk a little about your thing about volunteering and participating in that.
You got to do that after.
Yeah, we could,
We're at the hearing time. You've got to
Okay.
have the hearing now.
Yeah. Okay.
no problem.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
Okay, next order of business is the transfer liquor license from Mount Hope Village Liquors to Vaniac, I think that's the way, is that right? Incorporated. So, With that,
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Matthew Porter. Represent Vinayak Inc. With me is Vinay Shukla and Bhumi Shukla, husband and wife. They are the 50% each, I should say 100% total owners of the corporation that's applying for you today. It's a very straightforward transfer and pledge of the license being pledged to their lender, Rockland Trust. This all relates to Mount Hope Village, 102 Lincoln Avenue. Vinay is also going to be the manager of the location. He has retail experience, has owned small businesses, so certainly well-versed in the area. We're in the midst of doing some TIP certification, which is just online alcohol training, just to get him a little bit more familiar with that area. The seller is going to be staying on for a period of time, at least through the transition period, so I think it should be pretty seamless. There's no major changes that are anticipated for the store, no structural changes, just hopefully bringing in a wider variety of inventory, sprucing the place up a little bit. But beyond that, it's been a smooth transaction. Our financing all is in order. And certainly I can answer any questions that you may have, as well as Vinay or Bhumi. Pretty straightforward.
You had experience with selling?
The retail business, we have the restaurant, Subway restaurant.
Oh, okay. But no experience selling liquor or beer and wine?
I'm sorry?
You had any experience selling?
No, but my family's, some of my families has their own multiple stores in the liquor business. So definitely I have a help from them to guide me through.
Are you going to keep the same hours?
Yes, I'm going to be more than 40 hours, at least 50 to 60 hours, depends. Either me and my wife will do.
No, she's talking about.
The hours of the
The
store
hours,
remain the
opening
same.
and closing,
Oh, it's going to be the same, yes.
50 to 60 hours. Midnight, 1 o'clock.
Wait a minute, more than 60 hours.
And there's a drive. They didn't tell you that.
You have any questions?
It would, the license would still be for that location on Lincoln Ave, right?
It's just a transfer of the existing store. So they're actually buying the property as well. So we're staying.
Is the barber shop going to stay next door?
I hope so. That's where I got my haircut.
Oh, no? No? Because that's always
To be
busy.
determined, yeah.
Oh.
I would anticipate not.
Oh,
yeah.
that's
Sad.
always busy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So if there's no more questions, I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve the liquor license transfer from Mount Hope Village Liquors to Vinayak Incorporated.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? If none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very
All right.
much.
Thank
You're
you.
very busy.
Thank you.
We hope so.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Welcome to, do you live in the area?
I live in North Attleboro.
Not that.
Okay, well, welcome to Dayton.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Bruce, catch you later.
Yeah, I
Good
know.
luck.
It's past his bedtime, so he's like, can't sleep.
Okay, back to public input. I guess the only one, I want to just harp on what you said about serving in these volunteer positions. I've always said this, it's our town, and what we do in our town, when you volunteer for these committees, commissions, or whatever, you get to influence what goes on in our town. So it's really important for people to step up and do that. We have a lot of very good volunteers and a lot of good people. So if you're interested in helping out with any of that, come to the Selectmen's office and fill out a volunteer form, and I'm sure we'll find something for you to do.
Put them to work.
Yeah, right.
I just want to mention, I was talking to Sue Maderas today, and her committee is going to be meeting shortly. And when I say her committee, that's not really a town committee, but it's the Lights On Committee. And so many people attend it, enjoy it. So if anyone out there would like to get involved with that this year, they have one key position that needs to be filled, and Sue can fill you in on that, but it's an integral part of the program, and I'm not going to say what it is right now. And if you ask Sue, you'll know why. But anyhow, it's very important, and if somebody is willing to help out with that position, it's a key position at, I'll say, story hour. So there's a clue for you. But anyhow, she's going to be meeting. They're going to be starting shortly, so it's the Saturday after Thanksgiving, which might seem a ways away, but we're already into September, so,
Coming.
yeah.
Great. The other thing, I was, just before I came to this meeting, I was down with the Open Space Committee. And the open space, I know it's been very important to a lot of people in our community to kind of maintain the rural nature of our community. And I just want to tell you that they're very energetic and a very active committee. And they asked me to talk about, they're going to put out a questionnaire, and it'll be mailed to all the households in Dayton. And you'll be able to respond to this either by filling it out and sending it back to Town Hall, or they're going to have it online. You're going to put it on the website, I think.
Absolutely.
Brett will put it on the website so you can answer it that way. The deadline they're asking for is November 1st. There'll be another week or two before they get this out, but very important for you to respond so that committee and the town, we can know what people's priorities are about open space or recreation and that kind of thing. So you'll see that, more of that later. Okay.
And just to piggyback off that, I believe Serpide helped us to submit our
Yes, I'm
community
sorry.
compact our community compact cabinet application, which includes open space and as well as stormwater management. So
No, Ag Commission,
agricultural.
Yeah.
Yep, you are correct.
Yeah, so
yeah.
anyway, so they're really making progress. So if you want to ever come in and sit on their meetings, they meet every 2 weeks on Wednesday at 5 o'clock. So it's a very worthwhile thing. Okay, old business. I don't think we have any old business. Okay, new business. Renewal of the contract for legal services.
Just a comment also on volunteering. Not every committee or every group meets every week or every month. For example, Finance Committee, I think some people shy away from that. Their busiest time is probably March into April, and they will have a block of meetings and get through all of their budget stuff. Then there's a big space, and they'll meet again before a town meeting, but they may come in to act on reserves or something like that. But other than that, it's a very important committee, and that's just an example of, it's not you're not making a long-time commitment.
And even if a committee meets every month or every 2 weeks, you don't necessarily have, you like to go to every meeting, but if you don't make a meeting,
They're not going to kick you off.
they're not going to kick you off. And whatever you can do, some people have different time commitments. Some people retired, some people have full-time jobs and can't make as many. So anyways, it's very worthwhile and very rewarding, as Tom had said. Okay, the next is renewal of the contract for legal service. This contract is for our labor attorney, Albert Mason. And he's been under contract to the town from January 1st of this year until June 30th, when his contract expired. And we're lax in renewing it. So I guess the question we have to talk about tonight is, do we want to renew it for another year? Or do we want to, there's a 30-day clause in there, they have to give 30 days notice if we don't want to renew it. So we'd have to extend it at least till the end of October. So.
Well, we should be getting notification from the one union that contract ends next June 30th.
Please? Yep. So,
I have one question.
yeah.
If the prior contract was from January to June, then has the attorney been working since July
No.
without a contract?
No, just since June.
So we
Oh,
would still,
I'm sorry, he's been working since July 17th.
yeah, 2017.
Without a contract.
Without a contract. But
Oh.
he's still getting paid for that, correct?
I don't know.
I don't know if he's been paid.
So
but-
He's doing the work, I don't know if he's...
Yeah, we need to pay him from July 1st.
regardless, right?
Right.
Okay, that's all.
The question is, do we want to extend it for a whole another year to June 2018?
I would think that, well, my personal opinion is we've got another big contract coming up, and I would hope if we get notified soon enough,
We can
it'll
still-
be settled before we go to the annual town meeting in June, so the funding will be there, which would, if
That would
we,
be-
yeah, if
be
we
great.
appoint him now, and the other thing too is he will be, he's available for any labor-related anything. So my personal opinion is I think we should reappoint him. And then I don't want to say this, but we don't have any labor issues, because it would be, what, another 2 years beyond that before contracts start up again?
Yeah. I'll be honest, I haven't been a real big fan of this contract, but it's just my own personal opinion. What are your thoughts?
I feel, we were on the board last year. Attorney Mason he's very helpful. He has been very helpful. He really has been. I think perhaps you have had maybe some professional issues, in terms of negotiations, and that comes with the territory. That's people don't always agree. I'm happy to continue working with Attorney Mason. However, the way that the current negotiations go is that we have one member who attends. So I'm not kicking the can down the road, but if it's not me who's going in there and having to work with him, then I'm okay either way. I know that's kind of kicking the can down the road.
You're just kicking the can down.
I know.
Well, I mean, whatever we decide, I mean, I'm open to anything, so.
He did serve before, and that was, let me think. He came, as a matter of fact, it was Richard Hageman who told us about Burt Mason, and that would have been 2007. So he served from 7 to early 2010, and they wrapped things up. And then I think in between, they meaning the board, whoever was on the board of selectmen, handled their own negotiations. They might have brought David Gay in on some things, but actually it was this attorney who got involved early on with the situation we were dealing with. He was not under contract. He just had cautionary advice for the town on how to deal with the situation we were dealing with in the fire department.
Oh, so he did that this last year?
Yeah, well, yeah,
Last
he
month,
did it, he was advising us prior to any action taken. And then it was in, it was January, I guess we put him under contract.
I mean, I think, as you say, I think when you get down to what Bert's telling you, he's getting very, very sound legal advice.
That is the attorney's name, by the way, for folks watching.
Yeah. Sometimes it's hard.
They're like, who's Bert?
It's not, yeah, Bert Mason, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
yeah, Albert Mason, yeah, he did say that.
Sometimes it's hard to get down to that, but that's my only, concern, but.
If we only
I
have
think-
one more negotiation
Right.
to do,
Yeah.
current, from start to finish in the next year, I just feel like, do we feel like we can achieve that without having him, since there's only one left?
Well, you need an attorney to help with some of the stuff.
Well, we have town council.
Right.
But
So-
he's not a labor attorney.
That's true.
Okay, well, we need a motion to do something.
I'll make a motion that we redo the contract for Attorney Albert Mason for FY '18.
I'm not gonna second, I had to change of heart.
If you get, oh, well, we're not in discussion yet, so I can't say that.
I'll step down to second that so we can have a discussion.
The other thing is, if the contract gets settled early, you've got a termination clause in there.
Yeah, there's a 30-day termination clause.
So,
If something changed, you didn't have it.
So the only, we've been through the negotiations on 3 contracts now with him, and I have been the one that has been at the table with the with the unions, and then whatever we discussed, then I bring it back to,
He's actually done 4 contracts.
has he?
We had him
Okay.
for highway.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so he's done 4 contracts for, I find sometimes he makes it more complicated because I believe he's more used to working with larger towns that have different relationships with their unions. But that's just my own personal opinion. I can't fault his advice because he's very good. And what I think I've learned over the last 5 months is, you know, you listen to what anybody advises, you don't care if they're an attorney or a financial or whatever, and then from that you have to take what you think is important or what you're comfortable with, and then move forward with it. So I have no trouble, doing it for another year. So okay, so we got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
Okay. Motion carries. Sign that later. Okay, request for harbor master training. Okay, the harbor master has, and you got Chief McDonald's.
Is that on your desk?
Oh, where's that letter from Bob?
That's
Did I-
that's what I'm looking for. Do you, is it? Yeah,
It's on Brett's desk, I think, because Bob had an attachment to it.
right.
Well, I'm the one that lost that. Here we go.
Okay, so anyways, our harbor master, Ronald Marino, has requested some training, and the training that he's requested is to attend the Massachusetts Reserve Intermittent Police Academy, which is sponsored by the Southeastern Mass Police Training Association. And so I asked Chief McDonald, who the harbor master reports to give me his recommendation, and we've all seen it. And basically what Chief McDonald, I'm going to read it to you. After reviewing the harbor master's request to attend the Reserve Academy, along with his 2 assistants, it is my recommendation that an alternative training would be more beneficial to the town. The curriculum for the Reserve Academy does not cover the main focus of a harbor master for a recreational boating scene in Dayton. Perhaps it would be better suited to focus on safety issues and educating the boating community on equipment safety, responding to stranded boaters, addressing oil spills, fuel spills that may take place as a support role for the fire department. I would suggest a minimum CPR, basic first aid training for any sort of medical emergency that may occur. I've attached a packet that shows the curriculum for the Reserve Academy, as well as a new New England Maritime certification course. And where he's coming from is the Reserve Academy, some of the things really don't apply, and there's a lot of stuff about constitutional law, criminal law, motor vehicle law, a lot of motor vehicle law, the sex crimes, basic crash investigation, domestic violence, traffic control. So there's a lot of things in here, probably a lot of it, doesn't really apply to a harbor master. You've seen this,
So,
right?
yeah, it's attached to this thing.
Yeah, both of them are.
No, what Bob is recommending.
Yeah, I'm sorry, yeah, I was gonna get to that. Yeah, so what Bob is recommending is a charter boat captain license, which is called a 6-pack license. And I think we need to look into a little bit more because I've taken the 6-pack license course, and it deals a lot with different kinds of things, navigation, boat handling, how to read maps and all that kind of stuff. So I think we should look into this is a 7-week course. It's evenings from 6 to 9:30, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or you can do a 4-week course during days, which is 8:30 to 4. And the cost is $1,000, $1,045, so,
Per person?
per person. So, my feeling at this point is that we ought to do a little more research to see what kinds of things, because I'm not really sure this is,
But my other thought was, I put a note, I'm wondering if anyone has taken this. Any of the three has taken any part of this.
I don't
If
know.
they might have some of that
Right.
training.
right. Yeah, I don't know that answer either, but that might
Like
be...
as part of them, just for their private, boat?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
Well, I think
we
that
also...
could be part of our research.
Yeah,
you know.
because I think we also need to look at the, what are the requirements for harbor master? I'm not sure anybody's done that yet, so. So,
Motion to table?
well, I think we should, we need to deal with his request for the Massachusetts Reserve Independent Police Academy.
Mr. Chairman, can I say something?
Yeah.
Something you might want, if you're doing some more research, Coast Guard Auxiliary.
Yeah.
Which you know about.
Yep.
They always they're putting on a lot of programs, and a lot of it is just by the books, and,
Yep.
you know,
A
stuff
lot of
like
this
that.
stuff is safety. and-
Mass Maritime
Yep.
does stuff.
So I think that's the kind of thing,
Also,
I think that's the kind of thing we need to follow up and just see what might be an appropriate thing, and talk to them also to see what they think, so.
Just off the top of my head, forgive me if I got this wrong, Alex, if you're watching. I do believe Alex has done the Coast Guard Auxiliary.
Okay.
So it'll be good to catch up. Maybe they
Yeah.
all haven't done it, and we'll just get on.
So
the
maybe we
same
ought to
page.
meet, maybe in the future, we ought to meet with them and just kind of talk about what might be more appropriate than a police academy, because, as I said, Bob agreed that there's a lot of stuff that really doesn't apply to a harbor master, so.
If we're gonna do training, we want it
yeah,
to.
and if we're gonna have a meeting, maybe ahead of the meeting, we can ask them to prepare a list of courses, training,
Types of-
whatever, because they may have, you might have this, and I got this, and
Good idea.
you got both of them, but you don't have this one.
Yep.
So,
It would be rare for them all to have the same, have all done the same
Right,
courses,
right.
so.
Okay. So we need a motion on this, as far as to approve or disapprove the training to the police academy.
What did Chief say again?
That an alternative training would be more beneficial to the town. So I think we need a motion to
Not approve it?
not approve
The police academy.
not approve the harbor master's request to go to the police academy. And then we can,
and to look into further training.
yeah, look into further appropriate training for him.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we reject the harbor master's request to attend the police academy training, but to continue the discussion with them as to the appropriate training going forward.
I'll second it.
Okay, any further discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, motion carries. So we'll set something up with them so we can get that resolved. Okay. The next item on the agenda is declaration of Van Geysen Hall as town property. And the reason we have to do this tonight is, there's the deed for the Van Geysen Hall, when the Marine Corps League and then the AMVETS Club was in there, the AMVETS, the requirement on that deed is that as long as it remained to be used by a veterans organization, they could continue and they would stay, the deed would specify that. However, the deed also says once it is vacated by the veterans organization and no veterans organization is using the facility, then it reverts back to the town. So the building and property was sold at auction back in July, I guess, when they had the auction. But the deed has to be corrected, so let me read this. By this letter, the Board of Selectmen verify that as of the date of September 11, 2013, Van Geysen Hall has been vacated and not been used by any other veterans organization. Therefore, Van Geysen Hall is declared town property for the purpose of selling the property at the town auction.
Okay, I'll make that motion that we sign that letter.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
This is like what happens with a school building, when,
Yeah.
well, that actually is a school building, but, when, if you build a new building and you don't have plans for the old one, the school committee has to turn it back to the town. That wouldn't happen in the regional district, but with our local schools, yeah.
So it's just an oversight that wasn't done when that happened, but they've been out of there for a long
So
time.
we sold it anyhow.
Do what? So we sold it
We
now.
sold it anyhow.
Okay. The next order of business is the police building contract. So we had the bid opening a couple weeks ago for the police station. It was very good bids because they came in at budget. And then what's been going on for the last 2 weeks is the project manager and the architectural firm that we're working with has reviewed all the documentation. They've looked at the bids, and they have identified Tower Construction Corporation as the low bid. And what went into this, the total bid was $4,513,000. Included in that there was 3 alternatives that they wanted priced. Alternative 1 was to add ballistic windows to the facility. Page. That came in at $5,000. This is all included in the $4,513,000. But just so you know what we're doing. The second alternative was ballistic walls, and that was to the outside facade of the building would be ballistic walls to protect the people in the police department from, shootings or whatever. And alternative 3 was to epoxy the floor in the cell area. And the reason for that is to make it easier to clean up because, when people go back in there and they're drunk and who knows what goes on, but anyway.
They know.
So anyways, the bids came in very good, and we'll get these documents signed, and once these documents are signed, I have another letter, if you guys will authorize me to sign, making the notice of award.
Did they give you costs for those other alternatives? You had 5,000
Yeah, I'm sorry,
for
I'm
glass.
sorry, yeah. Yeah,
The walls has to be more expensive.
yeah, the walls, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, the alternative 1, which was the ballistic windows, was $5,000. Alternate 2 was $25,000, that's for the ballistic walls. And the alternate 3 was the epoxy floors, and that was $6,000. Yeah. Yeah, right, so anyways, very happy with the bids, and if we can get a motion.
Did Jen have a chance to look at it? I know.
Yeah, she did, she didn't get thoroughly look at it, she looked at the things that she thought were where we would have a problem.
Okay.
so-
But she's seen it, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we vote to authorize, how many signature lines?
well, we all need to sign this, but the notice of award, I can just sign.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I move that we vote to authorize the chairman to sign the letter of award and that the board sign the contract with Tower Construction for the new police station communication center. The bid price of $4,513,000.
Happily second, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, and I'll happily say, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Great. We're
Before
gonna,
we moved on, I did just want to say one thing. I know Mr. McGee and the entire police station building committee has been working tirelessly many, many years, as well as Pomeroy Associates and Tecton. So I just wanted to thank everybody involved. It's been a long haul. You stayed focused, you stayed committed, and keeping the best interests of the town in mind. And I can't thank you enough. I appreciate it very much.
and I'll second that. They worked very, very hard. It's been a long haul for this police station for a number of reasons that were beyond
Their control.
their control. And so they got it done. And I think we should be very happy,
The town will be better for
and we'll
it.
have to sign
And
this.
thank you to all the townspeople who showed up
Yeah.
They
meeting
didn't give up
after
either.
meeting
Absolutely.
and voted the funding.
Absolutely.
Right, so I think there's 2 places to sign this, but we can sign it afterwards, after I figure out what's where they are. And then I will sign the notice of award, which just tells them they've been awarded this, and then once that's done, then they'll put their timeline together and they'll work with the architects, and particularly the program manager, to get everything done that needs to be done. Okay, thank you. Okay. Recommendation from the Historical Commission to appoint Lisa Christensen as a member.
Thank you.
Would you read it?
Okay. This is from Mr. Jim Diaruda, who is the chairman of the Historical Commission. If you're watching, hello, Mr. Diaruda. Dated Tuesday, August 29th, 2017. To the Selectmen of the Town of Dayton, greetings. According to action taken July 11th in a regular meeting of the Dayton Historical Commission, it was unanimously voted to enthusiastically recommend the appointment of Lisa Christensen to the commission. She has demonstrated interest in the town's history and is a lifelong member of the community. In addition, we anticipate the resignation of another member in October, so Ms. Christensen's appointment will be important to our ability to carry on the commission's business. Thank you for your consideration of this request. For the commission, James Diaruda, Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we appoint Lisa Christensen to the Dayton Historical Commission.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
And I did just want to say, Mr. Diaruda, if you're watching, I like that you planned ahead. You knew someone was going to be leaving in October, so you got someone appointed earlier than that to catch that learning curve. That's fantastic. Good work.
Okay, our next item is grant permission to the highway superintendent to register and insure a new highway message board.
Thank you. Oh, sorry.
This is, by this letter, Selectmen grant permission to Thomas Ferry Highway Superintendent to register and insure a Veramac message board. Is that one of those ones that light up? Do you know?
I don't know.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it must be.
It sounds like.
I think that's what it is, yeah. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make the motion that we sign the letter authorizing Mr. Ferry to register and insure the Vermac message board.
I second that, Mr. Chairman.
All in favor, say aye.
I have one question
Yep.
before we vote.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Selectman Goulart.
Just when I don't say any
Switching the
further
gears.
discussion.
Is this message board already purchased and he just needs to register
Yes.
and insure it? Okay.
Actually, yeah, I think it was bought at an auction or...
I noticed there's a title certificate, so it must be mobile.
I think it's on trailers. so-
Yeah, I'm sure it's on the trailer because it's for highways, so they'll move it around.
Like the police have.
Yeah, and you can put whatever you want on there.
That's all.
You don't have a nice day or whatever you want.
Oh, he bought it at an auction. There's a sander here, too.
I think the sander attaches to a truck, so...
Oh, okay.
That's why that is.
That's, all right, that's not a motor vehicle, just a thing. Okay, yeah, this title certificate is here. He got it from DOT,
Right.
Perfect.
Mass DOT. And the message board was $500. Sounds like a good deal, Mr. Ferry.
I think you should be here to defend it, though. But,
I thought he was coming.
You should have been there.
huh?
What did you say? You should have been there.
You should be here to defend his recommendation.
He said that today. Do you want me at the meeting tonight? So I thought you were coming.
Well, I feel like what he'd come in and say is, it's already purchased, so if we don't if we don't register and insure it, we can't use it. It's
You know, those of you who know Tom Ferry, he would sit there with that smile on his face and not say much at all, so. Okay, the next item
Oh, we
is...
didn't vote.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, review resignation of Christina Franca as a passport agent. Christina works in the finance office, or the clerk's office, I think both. And
Treasurer collector.
she's a treasurer, okay. And she had been doing passports. People in the building that want to do these, we volunteer to do it. But I'm writing to inform you that as of Tuesday, August 29th, I'm resigning as a passport agent for the town of Dayton. I find that it takes away from my current position. Thank you for your time.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we accept the resignation of Christina Franca as passport agent.
With thanks. Second.
With thanks.
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you, Christina. You've done a good job. She's a very, very pleasant person. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries. Okay. The resignation of Joe Tedesco from the transfer station attendant position.
Thank you.
Read it. Somebody else want to read it?
This is from Mr. Joseph Tedesco, our current transfer station attendant, dated August 31st, 2017. It is addressed to Mr. Thomas Ferry, our highway superintendent. Dear Tom, per our short conversation, I am informing you of my intent to vacate the position as transfer station attendant. I enjoyed working for you and the town of Dayton. However, I need employment with more hours and no longer wish to work Saturdays as part of only a 2-day work week. Thank you for the opportunity and your professionalism, Joe Tedesco.
Is there an effective date?
Well, he's agreed to stay on.
Yeah, I'm thinking we should table this till we know for sure that he's got a date, because
That's
if he
good.
resigns and he's still working and something happens, he's still our employee.
Yeah, that's
and
a
yet we-
good point.
So,
We should
Mr.
table it.
Chairman, I will make a motion to table action on Mr. Tedesco's resignation until we know the date, the effective date of the resignation.
And that would, just add to that, that will be based on how soon we can hire somebody to take that position.
Okay, I'll agree to that amendment.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. The next one is the resignation of Edward Dutra from the Bristol Plymouth Regional School Committee.
This date is September the 6th. Dayton Board of Selectmen, I would like to take this opportunity to inform you that I am resigning my position as a member of the Bristol Plymouth Regional School Committee. This is due to that I will be moving out of the district. It has been a great privilege to serve the residents and students who attend this outstanding school. At this time, I would like to recommend Michael Ramus of Cedar Street to fill my position until the next scheduled election. He is a tradesman and a graduate of a technical school. Michael also has a son that is attending BP. He would be a great asset for the town and also the school. Thank you for your support. Respectfully, Edward F. Dutra. I think before we act on this, we've got to find out how vacancies are filled in that regional agreement.
Yeah.
And I think, I'm glad, I think it's nice that he recommended somebody, but I think we've got to,
Two different, so the first one would be is accept his resignation. The second would be, because the next item is for Michael Ramos to fill the vacancy, but
okay.
What she's saying is something different, though.
I know, I agree with
Oh,
that.
okay.
I'm saying this we should just accept Ed's resignation,
And then table.
and then maybe
then
discuss the next one, we want to
will
table.
contact BP to find out what's in that regional agreement.
Right.
And I think we're going to have to advertise the fact that we have
Right.
a vacancy on the BP committee,
Yep.
and any interested residents would like to apply.
Yep.
I think in Ed's case, when we got back into that district, the Board of Selectmen was asked to nominate somebody.
Yeah.
And I think it was Dr. Gross at the time that we met with, and it was kind of mutually agreed, and the selectmen said, okay, this is who we recommend, and then I believe that school committee had to take action.
Sounds
So,
logical.
so I'll make a motion to accept the resignation of Edward Dutra from the Bristol Plymouth Regional School Committee with thanks for his years of service to the town of Dayton and the students.
Second.
I would just like to say that Ed's moving to Florida.
Hopefully
and
he's not there
he
right
hasn't-
now.
No, he hasn't, no. Well, he hasn't closed on his house, so he might not be, if his house is still there, he'll probably go, but if not, maybe
If
he'll be
his house is
sticking
still
around.
there.
I saw him the other day, just looked back in.
Wait a couple days, Mr. Dutra.
But Ed, thank you for your service as a school committee member. I know you've done a great job over there and well respected, so. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, the next let me just, the next item on the agenda is the request by Michael Ramos to fill the vacancy on the Bristol Regional School Committee left by Mr. Ed Dutra. So,
I'd like to make a motion that we table this until, as Selectman Goulart said, we do find out what's in that regional agreement.
And I'll second that, because we've got to make sure that when we make the appointment, whoever it is, we're in compliance with that regional
Right.
agreement.
Absolutely.
And they always have a clause about filling vacancies. And also, those of you watching, and we'll have it on the website also, there is a vacancy now on the Bristol Plymouth Regional District School Committee, and it's someone to serve until the next election. And if anyone's interested, please submit a letter, and we will put it in a folder along with this one for Mr. Ramos. We should set a deadline for applications. How much time do you think is needed?
just a couple weeks probably. Couple weeks.
Like a month.
What's 3 weeks from tonight? 6,
27th, I believe.
27. So if you're interested in applying for the BP seat, if you could have your application into the Selectman's office by Thursday, the Thursday prior to that, which would be the 21st. By the 21st of September, so that this will be an agenda item on the Selectmen's meeting of the 27th. Assuming everything we're talking about complies with what's in the Bristol Plymouth Regional Agreement.
Okay, so
So
we need a motion to table.
Brett made the motion,
The appointment.
and I seconded it.
Okay,
So we vote.
okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. So just, Karen, we'll just keep that with the...
Yep. I'll put everything on.
Oh, we're getting down to the end here. Okay, request by the Dayton Rehoboth Regional School Committee to create a Town of Dayton School Building Study Committee. So, back in June, we met with Dr. Azar, who's the superintendent of schools. We actually met with the school committee, and the discussion came up about, the growth, particularly in Dayton, and our potential need for more classroom space at the elementary school. So it was suggested, and what Dr. Azar has proposed is that the town of Dayton, in conjunction with the school committee, form a study group, and we'll call it the Dayton School Building Study Committee. And so we'll have a couple of members probably from Dayton, and a couple of members, probably the Dayton representative on the school committee, to meet and kick this off. So I guess we're also will need, if anybody is interested in serving on this committee, you want to do the same time frame?
Yeah, we could.
Same time frame as for the,
We need to find out from the superintendent how many people they want on the committee.
I think we should
The
give
last-
this one a little more time. Do you? Because we'll need to coordinate with Dr. Azar as well as the school committee.
Yeah, and I'm thinking that the last school building committee that I remember was, for the first edition, which was around 1988, because it was the regional high school, obviously, it was made up of Dayton and Rehoboth people. Dick Mello was there from Rehoboth, Wally Wood was there from Dayton. They were school committee members. But then there were citizens that served. I don't remember, I think it was just citizens. And I'm thinking it was at least 6 members.
okay.
So that would be 4 residents and a couple of school committee people. Superintendent is ex officio, he's the advisor, not a voting member. But, yeah, I think,
I think we can still keep the time frame pretty short, and then however many members we end up determining we need, then we'll just appoint that many. If everybody's amenable to that.
I don't particularly see us having a need. Like, I feel like we're gonna have many more applications.
Probably, yeah.
People have a strong interest in the school, so.
this would be for to look at both schools in Dayton, the elementary and the middle school. This is not related to anything at the regional high school, so,
And it's really going to be a thorough look at, the population growth, the demographics of, who we have in town, who'll be going to school, and kind of plan for the future, because that's one thing we want to not be in a situation where we get there and then we don't have any room. So we want to be able to try and plan for.
and not only space, we've got to think about what's in the space. This board, various members at various times, and other town officials have attended meetings regarding the expansion of the Bristol County Aggie School. In addition to additional space to accommodate their plan for additional students, the other thing that they are looking at is, if you think about the present high school, once the classroom building is built on the north side of Center Street,
For the Aggie School.
for the Aggie School, they plan to renovate and pretty much gut Gilbert Hall, which is the original high school, because obviously the labs and things like that are not up to date. And the school's over 100 years old. Not that building, because there was a fire years ago, but in any case, not only are they doing this expansion to accommodate additional students, but they're looking at the facilities and the equipment and everything that's needed for students in school. So this would be part of what you'll look at for the Dayton Elementary and Middle School also.
Okay, so you want to make that same deadline, September 21st? You think that's too soon, or?
When are we,
That's 2 weeks, though.
when are we going to, is it next Monday?
When-
No,
Next Wednesday, we're meeting with Dr. Azar.
let's put this on the agenda for next Wednesday night.
Okay.
That way we'll have some advice. That's the ghost coming in.
Yeah. But if you're interested, though, I mean, we won't set a deadline, but if you're interested,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
send a letter of interest into us so we can
Absolutely.
have you,
We can advertise it
Yeah.
with the other one.
And this
we'll
is
put it
the,
on, we'll put it on the website as
and
well.
this is the Dayton School Building Study Committee. So if you hear this tonight and think about it, send a letter into Karen and indicate that you're interested in being considered for this. And you'll get information, and, you'll have a chance to find out, when we find out, everything that's involved.
And this is one of those committees where you really can make a difference, because as we've said, nobody plans enough, and there's an opportunity really to plan.
You don't have to have children in school,
No,
just a desire to help out.
and you can really make sure that the kids that we do have in town have a decent place to get their very, very good education, so.
Okay, so Mr.
Exceptional
Chairman,
place.
I will make a motion to table action on this item until next Wednesday night meeting.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, notification of night work at 333 Main Street by Geosyntec Consultants. And we just got a letter from Geosyntec Consultants, and on behalf of Zeneca, Geosyntec has prepared this letter to notify you of our intent to conduct outdoor work associated with environmental testing at 333 Main Street in Dayton, and that's the old Zeneca property. The property is a former manufacturing facility owned by Zeneca in accordance with the United States Environmental Protection Agency regulation. Zeneca is undertaking environmental remediation of the property. Environmental testing is part of that remediation. Geosyntec's personnel will be on site during the day and overnight, and will be operating a small 5,000 watt generator to power testing equipment and work lights. Testing will take place for a continuous 36-hour period beginning at 8 a.m. on September 11th, next Monday, and ending at 8 p.m. on September 12th, Tuesday. And so, that's just a notification, so if you see people working out there at night, that's what they're doing. I imagine the lights will be, my understanding is they'll be working in that fenced-in area that's been used as a parking lot, so. Okay, anything else you want to add?
The only thing is, I just mentioned, with the generator, I just hope, as Mr. Taylor said, the light shouldn't be a problem, because I believe this is going to be in the area that's sort of all grown up. And hopefully, the generator will not create noise for the people who live in the area, especially at night. That would be the only concern.
And they wouldn't have, just a general question, you don't think they'd have like the lights shining on the road where?
No,
No, the lights will be in
Yeah, just, it's
where
just so they
they're
can,
testing
where
and
they're
that.
working.
I don't know where the generator will be. Hopefully, it'll be in there also because there is concrete areas.
Yeah.
I mean, if it were in the parking lot of Main Street, I think it would be a problem. But if it's in, behind the bushes and that, that'll help muffle it.
And it's only for one night, although, you know,
Oh,
so. Okay. Correspondence from the Massachusetts Department of Public Health regarding West Nile virus.
did you want to read the other announcements? One page.
Yeah, I guess we ought to do that. Well, let's go through these two and then we'll go back to that since I already said we're gonna do it. There's something else. West Nile virus has been, I'll just summarize it from what I know about it. West Nile virus has been found in mosquitoes up in the north end of town. And so the advice is to limit outdoor activity at the, you know, in the evenings and use repellent. The thing to know about West Nile virus is that 80% of the people that get it show no symptoms. Only 20% of the people actually get symptoms. We have a public health fact sheet that I believe is on the website.
Correct.
Is on the website, and the announcements about this are on the website. So I would,
And we mass emailed and put on
Yeah,
social media the
right.
actual press release from the
Right.
Board of Health.
so rather than read through this whole thing, we'll just ask you to go to the website and just know that it's out there, and you don't want to get bitten by any kind of mosquito because West Nile is not real dangerous because of what I just said, but Triple E is very dangerous, and although they haven't found Triple E in Dayton yet, but there's always a possibility, so, and it's been in the area in years past, so. Good enough?
And I will say this, the only person I know of who ever contracted a very bad case of West Nile was Richard Hageman.
Oh,
And he
really?
actually showed me photographs of skin eruptions, and he was extremely ill.
Yeah.
It really knocked him for a loop. So he was one of the, if you will,
A few.
few
Yeah.
who got it and suffered. Yeah. And it was kind of a long-term thing.
Yeah, so, main thing is just protect yourself from mosquitoes, because they're all over the place now, particularly with the rain we just got today, probably. Okay, let's do the correspondence from Comcast regarding channel information. Dear Chairman and members, this is from Comcast. Dear Chairman and members of the board, as part of our continuing effort to keep you informed, I want to share with you the following information which customers are receiving via their bill message. Beginning 10/24, the following channel changes will occur. Port TV 20 will move from channel 17 to channel 95. Univision will be added to digital preferred and multi-Latino channel 638, and WUNI will no longer be available. WLWC movies will no longer be available on channel 724, but will continue to be available on channels 299 and 1181. Beginning 10/31/17, weather scan will no longer be available. So I'm sure you all see this on the message you get on your TV if you have Comcast. So.
Gee, a message from Comcast, and it doesn't say the rates are going up.
Yeah, right. They're just canceling some service.
That's the next one. That's the next notice.
Yeah.
That's the fine print at the bottom. Also, I do want to clarify, Chairman Taylor said Port TV, so all you Court TV watchers,
Port,
you're
Port,
still...
Port.
Yeah, Port, not Court.
Not court.
Yeah,
no,
you're
Port
good
TV.
with
Yeah,
Court
right.
TV, same channel.
Okay, let's do the rest of the announcements. You wanna- Huh?
Too many.
Yeah. You guys want
Selectman
to
Goulart?
read some of these?
Excuse me.
Anyhow,
Pay attention.
I'm agreeing with him. I'd rather have a menu, pay for each one I want.
A la
we
carte.
could do some, we don't want to go there, right?
Trash bags, shops, disposal containers, and recycling stickers are all for sale at the Board of Selectmen's office. Call 508-669-6431 for more information. There are vacancies on the Historical Commission, Land Use Committee, and Capital Outlay Committee. The Historical Commission, do they still have a vacancy, or that's one?
Check on that.
Well, he's anticipating one.
Yeah.
Uh,
So probably if you're interested, at least,
Send it a
Oh,
letter.
we'll
Send it
keep
in.
the applications on file anyway.
right.
The Board of Selectmen resumed its normal meeting schedule this evening, so every Wednesday night we'll be meeting, beginning with tonight.
Summer's over.
Yeah. The Dayton Lions Club Food Bank distribution will be on Saturday, September 23rd from 8 to 9:30 a.m. The Friends of the Dayton Public Library will be hosting the Taste of Dayton on Monday, September 18th from 5 to 7 p.m. behind Town Hall at the Pavilion. For more information, contact the library at 508-669-6431. Senator Mark Pacheco, or a representative, will be at the Dayton Council on Aging, 300 Lincoln Avenue on Tuesday, September 19th, from 1 to 2 p.m. Walk-ins are welcome, or you can make an appointment by calling 508-823-0095. On the trash bags, do we know, have they been able to do anything about the new bags that have been splitting and the ties that are ripping? We're getting complaints. Somebody mentioned it again this week.
There's a lot left. I don't know if they've contacted the company yet.
So,
See, some people are somebody just said to me the other day, they really like the new trash bags.
oh, I think the design, I think that, I've still got the old clear ones, but I think the design,
Yeah.
they like the design, but the gripe I heard was, you can't put much in them, the weight, they will split at the bottom, and then somebody else said, but when I pull the tie, I end up with the tie.
You're just too strong, that's it.
So, and some said they were double bagging them, and I'm thinking, oh, that's a little expensive.
It's just bizarre to me because when I spoke to Roz, who is the administrative assistant for the Board of Health, she said that the new trash bags are the exact same specs as the original ones, not the last batch that everyone hated. That was unanimous, but the
ply is supposed to be the same.
I guess-
And that's what it sounds like. And I don't know, the old ones didn't have a seam. It was just, the plastic is folded up, so you get the same strength. So I don't know,
There's a seam somewhere in all of them. What probably be a good idea, if you're still having trouble with trash bags, I mean, if you got a new set, not the ones you've been having trouble with, if you got a new set and you're still having trouble with them, you probably should send something in either to the Board of Selectmen, or probably better the Board of Health, because they're the ones that deal with it. But in the meantime, we can look into it and see what we can get back to you.
I've heard a couple of people at Hannaford's, get any Dayton trash bags? Yes, what size? You got good ones, or you got those new ones?
how do they respond, Selectman?
I'm not, at that point, I'm not from Dayton.
Yes,
I just- I'm not buying Dayton trash bags tonight.
Okay, let's move on to reports. Anybody have a report of anything?
We did meet today. Mr. McGee was here, and Selectman Taylor and I, Mary Hathaway, the treasurer, and Jen, the town accountant, we were all here, and we met with a representative from the bank who will be handling the bonding for the new police station communication center. The purpose of the meeting was to discuss basically cash flow, which a more accurate projection will be requested from the construction company, project manager. And we also talked about various kinds of financing. And as we work through this, we will give you little updates on what's happening. But we were very pleased to hear about what is available to us as far as actual bond issue, another term called bands, which is like short-term borrowing. The goal is to get the best rate we can on the bond, and also to borrow as little as possible. And I think most of you know that the town has paid some expenses from available funds, which means each time a payment is made from available funds, it decreases the amount of money that we will need to borrow, whether it's short-term or through the bonding. But It was a very good meeting, and we will keep you advised with the financing as we work through this. There were a few homework assignments. The lady from the bank and Mr. McGee is going to get information so that we will be able to get more direction, but it was a good
It
meeting.
was
You two
very,
didn't get any homework?
no? It was a very, very good meeting, and
I took the notes.
That was your homework? You had the in-class one.
Jack chaired the meeting.
did I chair the meeting? Okay.
It was a selectmen's meeting, I guess you
Yeah, I know it was, I guess I did, but it wasn't that kind of a meeting.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so we'll be talking to the Finance Committee and kind of going over the options, and I think we got a little bit of time, not a whole lot of time, but as Nancy said, we'll be borrowing as little as we can and still get the job done, so. Okay, what's next? Any acknowledgements? Minutes, approval of minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the minutes of the regular meeting of June 28th, regular meeting of July the 5th, regular meeting of July the 26th, special meeting of August the 21st. Were there two on the 21st? There's two. Oh, all right. And the special meeting of August 21st, all 2017, be approved.
I second that.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Wait.
Okay, approval of the warrants.
Mr. Chairman, I move that warrant 9A-17 in the amount of $84,625.31 payroll. Warrant 9B-17 in the amount of $20,892.85. And warrant 9C-17 in the amount of $47,065.47. These first three, all dated, those are accounts payable, all dated August 30th, and warrant 10A-18 in the amount of $76,972.70 payroll, and warrant 10B-18 in the amount of $76,037.75. Accounts payable, both dated September 6th, be approved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, anything else?
Those are gonna be some of the smallest accounts payable
Yeah,
warrants
right,
I've
yeah.
seen. Because they're usually in the hundreds of thousands.
Anything else? Anybody? If not, it's time to go.
I make a motion to
Are there
adjourn.
any events coming up that we should mention? We talked about Taste of Dayton.
There is a clam boil for Troop 45 this weekend on the 10th at the
Okay.
Seacon Gun Club.
Okay. Oh, that bike,
Oh, yeah,
the
where's
bike,
that?
the Susan Komen bike.
Susan G.
Do we have that? That's a good point.
And also, that's the same day as the cabbies fundraiser.
Is that in October? I thought Cabby's was October 3rd. I could be told.
Well, when we hear the date, because that was mentioned today at the department head meeting, Chris McGee said that's the same day, because they were talking about how to... Okay.
October 1st, yeah. So this is just kind of an informational, the Susan G. Komen, New England has requested permission to, they had a change of plans, so they had to change their routes. And some of the 62-mile run, walk, and the 100-mile, I guess they're biking, you don't walk that far. But anyways, they had to change them. Now they're going to go through Dayton, parts of Dayton. So this is on October 1st, as Karen said. So just, there'll be signs out in, directing them where to go, and our police department will also be assisting when necessary. Some of the streets they'll be using will be Walker Street, Wheeler Street, William Street, Center Street, Somerset Ave, 138, Elm Street, and Main Street. And
You're
then,
skipping us, Selectman Goulart.
the skipping,
You
yeah,
went good enough.
they're going by my house, though.
Yeah.
And then they'll also be going down Winthrop Street and Chestnut Street. So, but there'll be signs out, so just watch for the bikers on that day. Are they bikers?
Yes.
Yeah. for cyclists on that day.
That's when the cabbies are going to have their event, and I think there's a 5K on that day that's connected to the
The
cabbies,
cabbies, yeah.
so, they won't be on the same route, but those are upcoming events for October the 1st that you should be aware of.
Yeah, and we'll mention them again, but just so you're aware.
I did just want to mention one thing for the sake of public safety. I did notice this week we had a very nice Labor Day weekend, beautiful weather, not too hot out, so there were a lot of runners, there were a lot of walkers, there were a lot of bikers out on their bicycles. And I noticed that cars are not giving these pedestrians the appropriate space, and a lot of times, even with cars coming the other way, they are going into the other lane. I almost got hit head on. So I just want to advise everybody, this is Dayton, we're not in a rush, too much of a rush to get anywhere. So if we could just give everyone, the drivers on the other side of the road, as well as our pedestrians, the space that they need, and everybody could drive, you know, realistically, at a realistic speed, that would be great.
And there are places in this town that there are a lot of walkers, but you can't get off the road because of brush or poison ivy. It's one thing if you're on Lincoln Avenue and you can step over on somebody's lawn and you're not in the way, but there's a number of streets that there's no place to go.
No.
So you're in the road or on the edge of it, so that's very important.
Anything else?
That sidewalk came out nice down there.
It's coming out very
Yeah,
nice.
just an update on the Center Street sidewalk. Mr. Ferry told us today that they will be removing the forms this week. And for everyone who is concerned about what looks like a wavy up and down,
I saw that.
that design is specifically for people who may be in wheelchairs, so that as they're going up that grade, going west, it's like President Avenue. You drive up and you hit the platform, and then you drive up and hit the platform. Believe it or not, that was actually designed to meet ADA requirements for anyone in a wheelchair, and Tommy explained that to us today at the department head meeting.
If you run out of steam, you can stop there and rest, so,
Get winded.
yeah.
But that's
Yeah, that's good.
that's why it was done that way. Yeah, but it does, it looks good.
I'm glad you mentioned it too, because people probably don't.
Yeah, yeah. Even the construction company said, and the concrete company said, they'd never seen a sidewalk done that way. But
How many
anyhow,
sidewalk projects
that's
have you
the
done,
reason.
Tom?
So we're right. So Mr. Ferry has got us right up to speed on ADA requirements. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, Mr. Ferry, for all that you do.
You're the best.
Okay. Somebody want to make some kind of a motion?
I make a motion
We're
we
sitting here
adjourn.
twiddling our thumbs.
I second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you, cable people. We appreciate your help.
Have a good weekend, everybody.